good. He's one of the best non-Korean players out there. He hasn't even trained in Korea to do it. He's so good. But honestly, the next three are a little bit up for grabs. We've got kind of the Americans, and by Americans, I mean the American continent, north and south, because Gosudark representing as our resident Peruvian, so of course guaranteed to make it out somehow, I don't know. But Crossy, the man that almost stopped Artosis from getting the Corrupted Cup, but couldn't quite do it. Of course, he is a Canadian citizen, but he is also very, very strong. And our fellow American Korean Jae-Yoon, very, very strong as well. So I totally agree. I think we're going to have a close battle for second, but I don't know how good Crossy is, or Crossy. He goes by both of them. But I do know how good Jaeyun is, and Gosudark also shows some really sick strats too.
Yeah, so Gosudark, I already called it in round of 24 that I thought he might go to top 4, but now I see this group and I think, well, it's going to be a little rough because Crossy's very good. He's very up to date with current builds, and we know that the 9-7-3-4 is very trendy these days.
Yeah.
So he's going to be killer with that. Gosudark, though, I play him on ladder. I'm like, oh, he's doing this, and then he just shows up with something completely different. I remember specifically, I fast expanded. I thought he was going DT. No, 4-gate speed zealot. So this guy can pull out anything. So even if 9-7-3-4 is Imba right now, Crossy isn't going to know what hit him if Gosudark pulls out a patented Gosudark build. And then there's Jaeyun, he's drone man. So if he gets to late game, he's going to run you over, but like I said, Gosudark's got clever builds. If he can hit before you're ready, you know, maybe Gosudark can make it out, but also Crossy very standard, maybe he makes it out.
Well, I don't know what to expect, but I do know that Bonyth getting like less than first place in this group would be kind of an upset. So we're kind of here tonight to watch the Bonyth show, but also there's a chance that there's an upset, right? I mean, we are playing best ofs, so maybe not the biggest chance, but honestly, any opportunity to watch the Bonyth play, it's going to be a good one. So can't wait to watch it. I also think that our map pool will probably not change. I don't think that we're going to see the emergence of Oxide today, but I'm holding out hope that one of these days we will get that map eventually.
Yeah, if we do take a look at the map pool, we've got Sylphid as expected. Actually, we've got a different map pool this time. We got Sylphid, then Ground Zero, and then Bloody Ridge. So this is a little surprising. No power bond, Rapid.
Yeah, where's my power bond? I demand a recount. But getting into Sylphid, I think, is kind of a nice neutral one. Ground Zero is kind of the test, and man, if we get to Bloody Ridge, I don't know. We just got a whole lot of everything going on there. So not sure exactly what to expect from this, but I know it's always a treat to watch Bonyth play. And Crossy, kind of a new up-and-comer, really exploding onto the scene kind of out of nowhere now that he's over in Canada. Of course, as a North American representative, he's of course here to represent that. There should be like a flag for the North American continent, so I don't have to keep specifying which part of North America it is. But I'll take what I can get. Okay, I'm ready to do this. Let's get into the first match of Group C. This is going to be between Crossy and Bonyth, and the map will be Neo Sylphid. So let's go. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the opening of Group C. This is game number 1, and starting in the 12 o'clock location on the map, Sylphid. This is our teal Zerg player, Crossy.
In the bottom right, we've got the Protoss repping the magenta color. It is Bonyth. Now, Rapid, Crossy, I think, was number 4 in the BSL qualifier. He had like 2390 MMR, which is really high because now ladder's global. But I was informed yesterday that Bonyth has 2550 MMR.
Yikes!
He's 90 and 8. So this is a legit 90% win rate with the highest MMR I've ever seen a foreigner get. Just him and True Touch, I think, have clip 2550. I don't know if anybody's ever hit 2600, but that's crazy high.
Yeah, I know Dual was really, really high, maybe like 24 something while he was out here in Korea, and that's pretty remarkable. And I think that was before Global Ladder too, so nothing to shake a stick at. But for Bonyth, no one's arguing this guy is the truth. So let's see what he has to show against Crossy. Also, of course, a big shout out to our now very neon colors. We got that nice magenta for Bonyth and the exact same color as Minerals on the mini map. Crossy, who's going to know where his units are? He's going to position his units in an arc out on the map, and I'm just going to think it's Minerals. So don't blame me for that one. Blame the colors. But either way, I don't know what to expect. It is PBZ, and man, if there was ever a way to persuade Bonyth to build a Reaver, I hope this is it. I have seen him kind of bringing that back, and I just want that out of every game that I watch of his.
Yeah, I really do like the Reaver openers, but we do have a gateway expand from Bonyth, and I don't know if he knows Crossy, but Crossy, like I said, he's very up to date on builds, so he's definitely going to go for 934 if he can get it. And gateway expand already throws that for a loop, so this could be Bonyth reading Crossy. And
also, he's about to lose his drone. So that's obviously not according to plan. It's got like 2 hits left. Obviously, it's regenning, but still, 2 hits is 2 hits. And so now there's a very scared drone wandering out on the map with about 10 hit points. We'll see how long that lasts. First Zealot out.
Yeah, Zealot might just come in here and just smack him right in the face. Let's see.
Here we go. The heat-seeking Zealot missile straight towards the drone's fleshy body.
So luckily for Crossy, he's already building a couple more links because he needs some more links to make sure that this Zealot doesn't do work. Now I'm trying to get a look at the Minerals, I guess, at the third base. There seems to be not really great areas for the Zealot to run and hide. I guess maybe at the top and at the bottom, but with this probe here, it's going to deal a lot of damage, and Cross, I don't think he's going to get it this natural.
Block it. Ooh, almost didn't block it. I don't know how many units you need to out heal the building hatchery. I don't know if you need like 2-3 Zealots, whatever, because that was very low there for a second. But there are 6 links out, so we're gonna have to wait for Zealot number 2 before we can really start to fight that. But this is where we get a chance to see how good Bonyth's micro is, because his Zealots are coated in butter.
Well, Crossy did get the probe, which is a big find for him. Lings are trying to get us around on the Zealots. I think Bonyth is just going to turn around now. He's forced out a decent amount of Lings. Behind this, we do have the Nexus coming out. He's got... Whoa! Do you see that forge? It's in the main.
I see the... Whoa! What is... Okay, so... Walk this one by me, Nyoken. See... I may not know many things about StarCraft, but one thing I do know is that the forge goes in the front of your natural.
Yeah, this is a bit weird, but I was watching Zero's 9734 translation. He was saying if you pick off the forge, not that it's a free one, but you're in a good position, and this might be because Bonyth knows that it's likely we're going to see that, and he doesn't want to lose +1. I'm just guessing here because I can't even remember the last time I saw a forge in the main. We'll have to still see if Crossy is going to go for something like that. So far, he's got gas mining. He's got a decent amount of resources too, but he's forcing out so many Lings. Yeah,
I do like that there are a lot of Lings, but obviously the Zealot getting in is maybe not totally according to plan. The Cyber Core and the wall off is really interesting. I mean, I guess you really, really hate to lose your forge, but also losing the Cyber Core is super annoying too. So I'm still waiting to figure out how this works, because this is actually the first time I've ever seen this wall off. I get it, the way you explained it, Professor Nyoken, but at the same time, it is still kind of new to me.
Zealot gets in here, sees there's no lair. I don't know if he's gotten a glimpse at the third base for a while, but he saw there's no lair, which means that it's definitely going to be speed. And now really he just needs to get up a couple more Zealots, maybe one more cannon, and he'll be good to go versus any Ling aggression. Now, Crossy is going for the Hydrogen, and there is no lair, but his econ has been severely hurt because of how many Lings he's built. So Bonyth is going into the mid game fantastic, and there goes the forge. It is spinning, and there's no way that's getting picked off.
Yeah, I mean, Caster Curse would have to kick in really hard for that one. So yeah, that's going to be safe and sound. Obviously, like I said, it's still annoying to lose the cyber cord, but I'm waiting to see what the exact commitment is. Already, of course, there's Hydra Den on the way, Hydra Speed working away there, and Citadel about halfway done. Should coincide nicely with this +1.
Yeah, now I wonder if Bonyth is going to build a goon to try and pick off this Overlord. We don't see it just yet, but he's gone straight Citadel. He's got more gates coming up. He's going to probably go up to 4 gate right here. And probably going to have a fast Temple Archive, so a DT coming out would be really nice. And we do have Crossy. He has started building Hydralisk and still no lair, so he really needs to get damage done. 4th hatch going up. I don't know, though. I just don't see how he's going to get damage done versus someone that opens straight Citadel, and Speed's just started.
Yeah, well, I mean, Speed, yeah, you mean Zealot Speed, right?
Yeah, Zealot Speed just started.
Okay. But look at the F2 that was just done, like the movement of all Zerglings straight to the front as the first Hydras are speeding their way across the map. Hydra Speed just now finishing up, and so that means that we are in full-on go mode. Like you said, there is no lair. We are just doing it off of, how many hatchers do we got? We're going up to 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 hatches, it looks like it's going to be.
He's got 4 right now. I keep clicking everywhere to see if there's a lair. Still no lair, but that's a lot of Hydras that are already out, and these Zealots don't have speed just yet. It is still only 1 cannon. 2nd cannon isn't completed just yet. Imagine if Crossy went right now. I think he could jump on that building cannon. He might actually just straight up win, but he's hesitating a bit. And he may miss his window.
I mean, it feels bad to go for a Hydra bust and then like go right before all of your Hydras are there. They are still kind of rallying their way across the map with, I think, a drone's in there somewhere. But here we go. Hitting those Zealots at the front. They're going to pull back and forward. This is a nice little dance. Cannon getting off a couple of shots there. Cybercore not looking so healthy. It is going to go down here, but at least it's not the Forge, right?
Yeah, +1's about to hit. He's got, okay, here we go. Hydra's trying to come in here. There's no speed. This is a great timing. Only 2 cannons. Bonyth has got to pull probes, but he's got nothing to drill on. Crossy might just end it. There's an overwhelming amount of Hydras. Still 12 standing. He can just pick off probes at this point.
Yeah, it's a nice probe wall, so at least the cannons are getting a little bit of hashtag value, trying to buy time, but these cannons warping in behind them. They're just about to finish, and somehow not all of those probes died. I was definitely expecting higher casualties, but now that there's 3, 4, 5 cannons up, I don't know how much further we're going with this Hydra bust.
Yeah, Crossy may have just stepped a little bit too far. Wasn't able to pick off as many probes as he wanted, but still Bonyth took a lot of damage there. His Temple Archive just started. I would have assumed that this was going to get up much faster. That means Storm's not going to be out on the map for a very long time, and we've got just continued Hydra production. This is 15 Hydras, but that's a lot of Zealots, and they do have +1 now.
That is true, and of course, it's, with his legs as well, I think that's probably the most important thing. This number is going to continue to grow 3 at a time, and once you get up to like a control group, those Hydras are definitely going to have to head for the hills, so lair at least finally on the way, so at least there's a plan after this.
Well, I'm looking at the saturation for Crossy. Zero talks about just power droning after the initial push, and we don't see that at all. And Crossy's econ is really hurting. Here comes Bonyth now moving out with +1. He's got almost an equal amount of Zealots to the Hydras. Any pickoff right here is going to be critical. And look at what Crossy has. There's no Sunkens at any base.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, there's some nice Sim City at the front, at least with the Evo chamber to the natural, but the third base is wide open. Oh my goodness. This third base is like when you go to the dentist and he wants to look inside. He's like, open wide, say, that third base is very vulnerable. But thanks to some more reinforcements, Crossy's going to push Bonyth back. The only problem is that, like, I mean, Crossy's investing quite a bit into units that I don't think can win the game for him, so hopefully this keeps him alive. But this is a really interesting kind of back and forth.
Yeah, Crossy definitely needs to start getting his drone count up. It's pretty good at his third base, but the natural is severely lacking. Almost no econ there. And Bonyth, sure, he lost a lot of probes, or a decent amount of probes in the beginning. But one thing that I noticed with Bonyth is this guy, he will not miss probes. Look at the main, look at the natural. It's perfectly saturated, maybe even oversaturated. So his econ is killer, and we can see it reflected in the supply. It's 82 to 58. And like you said, Crossy cannot win with this attack. We've got DTs and Templar out, so he's not really going into the mid game in the position you want to be in as Zerg.
Yeah, for sure. Having to make so many like Zerglings early on and then commit so much to Hydras that, I mean, they killed a Cyber Core. And maybe they forced out quite a few cannons, but I mean, better safe than sorry there. So now sort of the shoe is on the other foot for Bonyth. He needs to figure out how to get a third base, and he's got to deal with a few of these forces out on the map. Look at how well he's doing, sneaking the DT through as well.
Yeah, DT was able to get by, but Crossy has an Overlord set up at all of his bases. Really shouldn't get much damage done. But at this point, Crossy, he needs to have a 6 hatchet. Okay, there he does. He puts it at top right. He would probably ideally want to start getting a 4th base at this point, but not able to do so. And Bonyth, he's starting to flood out those gateways. We've got 8 gate now. And the Cybernetics, even though it went down, it was rebuilt in the main. He's starting to get range, and he's going for that big supply block. He's even got double forge, so it's not just going to be +2. It's going to be a 2-1 timing.
You said he's going for that big supply block. You're right. He is going for that big supply block. He is his next pylon is not happening for a while.
Yeah, he did get supply block, but he's still going to have really big power spike pretty soon. Here come the Zealots. Yeah. This is so many Zealots.
Wow, that is so many Zealots. Like exactly so many. It's 1, 2, 3, and then you ... to so many Zealots. So they are going to try now. There is a sunken at the third base now, and there are a couple sunkens, and the SimCity is way better. So these Zealots are going to have a little bit of a hard time. At least they scout the large number of mutas. So if you're a High Templar, you are not going to have a good time. There's a nice storm, mostly misses, and so the next storm actually a little bit better, but still, these High Templar getting picked off does not bode well for Bonyth's ability to deal with massive amounts of units.
Yeah, this is perfect transition from Crossy, and I was really expecting to see more Templars than this from Bonyth, and he lost 2. He only has 3. This one has banked up storms, but it's not like Crossy's going to dive in here. So for now, Crossy does weather the storm. It is 93 to 110. That's not bad for Zerg. Now he's going to pick off a Corsair.
Ooh, and that really hurts because now, I mean, you're trying to go for air units and you just cannot build up that critical mass. Now probes are starting to go down. The Mutas mobility just so good with the SimCity and Bonyth's base kind of working against him.
Yeah, backstab is going to be a real threat to Bonyth because he doesn't have the high Sair count. He's just now building it up. He doesn't have +1 on his Sairs either. The cannons, there's no cannons in the main. Here come those Mutas again, right when the Dragoons move out. He pops in here, but that's 3 Sairs. Scourge, almost get one, but no connection.
Now these Mutas are pretty heavily damaged, so even though there's only 3 Corsairs, they're still getting these Muta kills. And look at how they're keeping up the moving shot. Very, very well done here by Bonyth. He is doing a great job. He picked off 2, 3 Mutas there, and they're all in red health. So the Mutas are pretty done with right now, and that means it's time for Zealot boys to head back out on the map.
Crossy, he's gotten +1 weapon on his Hydras. He started +2 on his Hydras, so he's decently upgraded, but Bonyth already has 2-1. Drone count and probe count are pretty even. Bonyth's going to try and take a third base now, I guess. Oh, well, I thought he might actually sit, but no, he's going to get back out on the map. He saw that Crossy wants to expand, and because he wants to expand, he definitely wants to deny this. But supplies are very close. Are there lurkers anywhere? There's no lurkers, and that might actually be the downfall for Crossy, because you need lurkers when you're fighting an army like this.
You certainly do, yeah, for sure. Even if it's just to force out storms. Let's see. There are a few Scourge out there. I believe I saw a couple, so let's see how long this Observer stays alive. Obviously, look at the splitting there on these Hydras, pulling back away from the Zealots, but the Zealots actually getting really up close and personal, so they won't last forever, but they do thin out the Hydra count. So with Storms and the Dragoons from behind, I don't know if Crossy's looking too hot here.
Yeah, all the Dragoons survive, and all the Mutas also went down. They only were able to pick off 1 Templar, and now Crossy's in big time trouble because sure, he's got a Sunken here, but these goons can just range the hatcheries, and that will be half the production if those hatcheries go down. Up 40 supply at this point. Bonyth with the third base coming up. This is, oh, another Templar picked off, but I don't think Crossy has enough units. He needs to back off.
Yeah, I think Crossy is kind of overstepping his bounds. Like, just push the Protoss back. Don't actually run to him and fight, because then you're going to be running into storms. There's more High Templars coming in on the way, I believe. And this third base looks like it will come up for Bonyth.
Yep, and now Bonyth has found some straggler overlords, and luckily for Crossy, he's not going to get supply block just yet, but now he's reached critical mass on the... Oh, well, now they're going to get picked off. One goes
Yeah,
down.
he keeps getting close to that critical mass, but I don't think he's hit it yet.
Yeah, it's close, but now, anytime there's a fight on the map and the Hydra's got to go defend, he can try and pick off overlords, but so far, it hasn't happened yet. But I don't think it matters, because this third base, once this goes down, we're going to be back down to 3 hatch, and that's not what you need as Zerg. And meanwhile, Protoss just taking mid-right. He's just got complete map control at this point.
Wow. Yeah, I think this is Bonyth really sort of flexing on Crossy a little bit. He's like, well, I just barely got my other base up. Time for a fourth. There's a little bit of a Hydra backstab coming through, but it's not all that strong. And honestly, neither is Crossy right now. He's going to try to bring all the Hydras in from every angle. Man, these Dragoons, they're starting to pop here. Let's see if maybe Bonyth overextended a little bit. The DT is here. It is kind of going to town a little bit. There are still storms left, and I don't see a whole lot left for Crossy.
Crossy's doing a good job picking off these Templars. He caught one reinforcing, and the supplies are still pretty close, 100 to 70. That's not horrible, but the issue is that the units just keep bleeding out, and we're not really synced up anywhere. If he could sync,
Yeah.
I think he might be able to win a fight, but it's just not happening.
No, he's like leaking Hydras out of basically every orifice, and maybe there's a few out on the map that can catch some reinforcements, like, ooh, there's like 3 or 4 that could catch some High Templars, but he needs them too desperately to try to hold on to this base. DT going to town at the inner 12, and oh man, this is just starting to go from bad to worse for Crossy.
Yeah, it's just starting to get too chaotic at this point. Perfect storm blankets the Hydras and blankets some overlords, but Bonyth does need to reinforce because, well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's got so many units, and Crossy, yep, GG.
Well, that is going to do it for our first game. Really well played there. I think Crossy made that so tough for Bonyth. A lot of that pressure he put on the front door, and just how hard he made it for Bonyth to ever get a third base. But I mean, Bonyth, he's too good. He came out with just the amount of strength he needed in that push, and was able to take Crossy down on game number 1. Now, I know Crossy was kind of forced to make a lot of units early on. You think that's what kind of set him a little bit too far behind, Jaeyun?
Yeah, I think Bonyth just had a soul read on Crossy because Gateway Expand, that's like a really good opener versus the fast Hydra play, and then to not build your forge at the entrance of +1 doesn't get picked off. I've never seen that. So a complete soul read from Bonyth. And if you're Crossy and you're facing someone that's thinking on this level, you're probably like, well, what do I do now? Because he just read everything.
You roll up and you expect to snipe the +1, and you're like, wait a second, that's not a forge. And it was kind of a big brain play because he did lose the Cyber Core, but he's just making Zealots, and you don't really need that for that. So very well played, but that's on sort of a pocketed third map, or 3-base map, or 3-player map. Now we're moving on to Ground Zero, and Ground Zero is just big. It's got a big 0 in the middle, but it has way more than that number of bases. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 14 bases here? Wow. So this is going to be a very different style of game, especially just because it's a 4-player map. Anything can happen. So I'm excited to get into it. Are you ready, Jaeyun?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's do it. Game number 2, Bonyth leading 1-0. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. The map is Ground Zero, and in the upper right-hand corner, in the purple, from Poland, he's on Soul, but he's playing for himself and his life in the round of 16. It's Bonyth.
In the bottom right, we've got the new Canadian Zerg player. It is Crossy. Yeah, so I don't know what Crossy should do this time, because that was just... nothing went right.
Yeah, what more do you want from Crossy? I feel like he played that pretty well. Maybe he overmade a little bit, but honestly, if that's your problem, yeah, that's not a big one.
You know what I like about Bonyth?
What?
He reminds me of Stork. So Stork I saw at WCG 2007 in person because I went to grand finals. And Stork, when he played back then, it looked like somebody just playing the piano. Like, it looks slow, but it was actually like 250 APM. It's just like so fluid, just does everything exactly right. And if you watch Bonyth, when I watch his stream, it's the exact same thing. He's not someone that's super chaotic, does not have 400 APM. He just nails his build. He's got good decision making. You can tell he's thinking about the game with the forge placement in the main. Okay, I'll lose my cybernetics. I don't care because I just want +1. This is somebody that you can imitate. It's not somebody that's effort-esque where he's just all over the map, 500 APM. You can imitate a guy like this, and he's just super solid all around. So I love how Bonyth plays, and I'm loving what we're about to see because we got
That's it. 2 gateways, 10-12, I believe it was. Looking good here from Bonyth. I love to see the extra aggression. Now, thankfully, Drone Boy is scouting the right direction, or Drone Person, or Drone thing. I don't know if it has a gender, but it's there, and it's going to scout the 2 gates right on time. This is beautiful for Crossy because he knows exactly what's coming his way, but it's still coming.
Yeah, and we see Crossy went for 12 hatch, 11 pool, and I'm not too sure if this is the ideal opener for 2 gate. I think you want to go for 11 hatch, 10 pool, but not a big difference, but it could snowball pretty hard if this Zealot, and I imagine the probe syncs up together and starts getting a few Ling pickoffs. Now, Crossy wants to deny the Zealot as long as possible. We already saw the drone move out in front. Oh, well, it did glitch a little bit there, but he's not doing what we see sometimes where players just constantly drill over and over and try and, delay it as much as possible. But Bonyth actually turned around. I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I too am a little bit surprised about that, especially when you open 2 gate. Obviously, that's a little bit of a sacrifice. You kind of want to get something done with that. But Bonyth is so good at judging the I don't know, just the feel of the map, when it's right to go with what. And so you were saying earlier, like, Bonyth's a guy that you can kind of imitate or learn from at least. But like, I feel like if you practice enough, you can get a little faster. But it's a lot harder for me, or it's a lot harder in general to get smarter. So I don't know. I think it's whichever you find yourself easier at. Now at this time he banked up to 3 zealots. He's got a couple more on the way, but you're right. It's about how much he can keep these alive. Let's see how well he does here. Now obviously there is a sunken at the front, so that is a little bit of an investment on the drone, but it's still going to be a great way to stop these zealots from getting up close and personal.
Yeah, Crossy, he's trying to get a few lings out. Even if he can just get 2 or 3 lings out, okay, we're actually gonna have an engagement.
Zealot micro, pulling it back, he saves it with 1 HP.
Crossy's in trouble because he needs to get across the map with just a couple links, try and at least keep a couple zealots out, because now that they just constantly keep coming, we're approaching 7 zealots, soon to be 9. We don't even have 9 lings at this point, and Crossy's econ is really shot. Meanwhile, sure, Bonyth isn't on 2 base just yet. He's just not put it down, but he's constantly building probes.
Is that okay? What is that gas drone doing in the mineral line? I'm watching it. I thought we had like a cadenza drone there for a second, but it is actually being put to work right now. So the Zerglings, man, they die awfully quickly, and we are up to 7 zealots, but not quite enough. And speaking of enough, sneaking these 6 lings out on the map, they're gonna make it all the way into the main. Oh no, Bonyth, how good's your probe drill? Ooh, not a great start. 1, 2, 3 drones going down, maybe a few more. Only 3, but still 3 is more than you want.
Well, Bonyth doesn't know it just yet, but Crossy's pretty much all in. He's built a ton of speed links, and now that Bonyth has turned around, he's got enough zealots that can just hold position at the entrance. As long as they do that, don't let them in.
Let me in. He does need to make sort of the Great Wall of Zealot here at the front door, but even if it's not a perfectly, perpendicular wall, I think it's actually going to be okay. Down bottom, there's only 1 zealot blocking a tiny hole, so that could be caught a little bit out of position. But this is just not going to work. I feel like Crossy made the decision to all in, and Bonyth just kept making zealots.
Yeah, Crossy's in big time trouble. You can see he's trying to transition now. He started rebuilding drones, but it's too late at this point. Our econ is really bad. Bonyth has his Nexus up.
Is he gonna lose his Overlord? Whoa! 24 HP. Almost gets taken down by that cannon. If the probes can like do like the Counter-Strike boost where they stand on each other's heads, they can like, zap that Overlord out of the sky. But it survives for now. So does Bonyth and cRroSs. I mean, he's expanding, he's building some drones, but this is all just for round 2, which is going to include the Hydra Den.
Yeah, cRroSs just gonna continue to all in. It's probably his only chance at this game because we've already got Stargate going up for Bonyth and cRroSs. He doesn't have a lair. He just now put down his Hydra Den. There's no speed being upgraded. Okay, speed just now kicking in, but at least he has a lot of links, so he will have a lot of buffer for the incoming Zealot and cannon shots, but he needs to get out like a ton of Hydras. I just don't see him ever outpacing Bonyth, and now 2 Dragoons come out and it's going to supply block cRroSs. This is painful.
This is going to be quite painful. I concur, Jaeyun. I'm waiting, I'm watching. It doesn't seem like there is really anything cRroSs can do. He's at 26 out of 18. Those are low numbers. He built another Overlord, 26 out of 26. Ooh, feels bad. And even though he is going to be going into this big Hydra push, he's going to have to build so many Overlords to be able to build the Hydras. I mean, I don't know. There's no silver lining to this cloudy build.
Yeah, if somehow cRroSs had Hydras right now, and he could go right now, maybe he could bust through. But now that the Overlords got picked off, Bonyth is going to have a Corsair out, and he's just going to send it across the map and see what's coming. And when he sees the low drone count combined with no lair, with no third base, he's just going to spam cannons. And then he's going to go into 8-gate, and there's just really nothing cRroSs can do. Or he may just supply block cRroSs again because he finds another low Overlord. Remember that Overlord that we thought was going to die of the cannon? Well, he just picks it off. Now he's going to go scout.
Well, hey, Bonyth is supply block too, so let's not, only talk about one player supply block. He is going to be stuck at 58 out of 58 for a while.
Maybe
he's still not building a pylon.
Well, I don't even think it matters. We got 6 Hydras versus. Huh?
Replay like bugged or something?
I don't think so. Citadel coming up.
Yeah, no, you're right. He just had like 300 minerals and he still wasn't building a cannon. So I guess he wasn't building a pylon. But I guess he doesn't need pylons. Cannons are what's most important. So that's where the money's going. There we go. Pylon on the way.
His supply block was a pretty big block, but he knows he needs to not die. He's going to supply block him again. And
that's one way to stop a Hydra. Well, here we go. This is going to be it, right?
Here we come. Yeah, the Zealots were moving into a funnel, which is not the greatest position to move into, and loses most of the Zealots. The Cybernetics is getting focused. I don't think, he may be able to get the Force, but it's going to be pretty hard, and it's almost done, so he probably isn't going to get it in time. But cRroSs is transitioning. He's got 4 hatch. He's got decent drone saturation across the board, but still no lair anywhere. Oh, here comes Bonyth again, going to try and break up, but still no speed, so we are bleeding off quite a bit of Zealots.
Yeah, but it's to force the Hydras to reposition so that they try to come forward and get hit by these cannons. That's exactly what's happening here. The Hydras, these are just such a precious commodity. And he's starting to have them picked off, so even if he loses a couple of Zealots here, I think it's kind of worth it, because I don't think there's any way cRroSs breaks this wall.
Yeah, he's not breaking it. He's not building any more Hydras at this point. +1 did kick in. We've got the next couple gates coming in. Speed, did it finish? Okay, it did finish. And we do have the first DT out. And because he's pushed the Overlords back consistently, the DT should be able to get across the map. Or did it get picked off? No. Okay, now it's just now exiting the natural, and the Overlords are just now moving out of the range.
Well, there are 4 total Overlords in this game, so I mean, they're all, like, 3 of them are at the natural, and then one of them's out at the 3 o'clock. Or, yeah, 3 o'clock. So there's just not a lot of detection out there for cRroSs right now. So let's see where these DTs are going to go.
Yeah, and with no Spire, these Overlords that are just out in the center of the map, they just get picked off for free. It also forces cRroSs to come and try and save them, and because he tries to save them, he loses the Hydralisk. And this is probably just be the death blow from Bonyth, because even though he doesn't have very much, there's just flat out not much for cRroSs. Third is wide open. Sunken is way back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mr. Sunken's going to be okay, but Mr. Overlord's above it, maybe not quite so much. As soon as those Corsairs head down there, that base is dead.
Okay, there he goes, round 2. I was surprised that he didn't go for it when he saw the Sunken all the way back. Now he comes in, he's going to get... well, maybe this one Sunken can hold in combination with the drones. Where'd the DT go? Oh, they're just trying to intercept these Hydras. Look at this, perfect!
That's such a big brain play. You know the Hydras need to come down to save this base to stop the Corsairs. So instead of having the DTs there at the base, you just kill the Hydras on their way.
Now he wipes out the Overlords and GG!
Damn. Bonyth, slow down. Put the brakes on, my man. What an incredible, incredible series for Bonyth. Game number 1, actually not a whole lot of fault with Crossy. Bonyth just kind of did Bonyth things. But game 2, I really felt like Crossy was kind of stuck in desperation mode a little bit.
Yeah, he tried to make magic happen with the speedlings, and every time he tried to send out, you know, those 8, they just ran into Zealots and lost like 4 immediately. He was really just not able to control them. But Bonyth, he was just doing Bonyth things. It looked amazing, other than the pylon blocks. But I mean, that still didn't matter. He just crushed it.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say about that. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit more of that later on, because this group is a little bit top heavy with Bonyth as maybe a clear favorite. I don't know what's going to happen next. So coming up next in our next best of 3, next, I'm going to say it a few more times. We've got Gosudark versus Jaeyun. Jaeyun, another fabulous North American representative, and taking on kind of the best of South America here, at least in this group, Gosudark. We've got some crazy aggressive builds. Now, Jaeyun is a big brain mastermind, but he also likes to build hatcheries and drones, which don't necessarily fight back a whole lot. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we'll have our next best of 3 between Jaeyun and Gosudark. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the BSL. Bombastic Star League is back with Groups C. Maybe that's backwards. I don't know. One of those. And we're already through our first series because Bonyth is a god. So he is waiting in the winner's match for the helpless winner of this series. It's going to be Jaeyun versus Gosudark America versus South America. Well, I guess that's North America versus South America. And this is really kind of some contrasting styles. How would you characterize our opponents for match 2, Nyoken?
Yeah, we're going to have the passive style from Jaeyun, who just wants to power to infinity and beyond. And then we're going to have Gosudark, who wants to end this game as fast as possible. So this is going to be, well, I guess it would be kind of similar to what we just saw. Bonyth, was pretty aggressive in his last game. We may see another 2-gate from Gosudark, but if he does expand, it is not going to be a Stargate opener. I would assume that we're going to have Citadel and Gosudark just getting up in Jaeyun's face.
I mean, he's going to try to. Now, there's a hidden landmine in this series, and that is that there is like a side quest. When I'm playing games like Witcher or other things, I never finish the game because I always just do the side quest. Well, the side quest here is that it has to go to game 3 because Oxide, super weird map. We've never seen it in BSL yet this season. We got to get to game 3. It's not good enough to just win 2-0. We need that Oxide game. So I'm really, really excited to see this series because I do want to get to game 3. But also, I don't know who's coming out second place in this group. Maybe even first place because it's a huge wild card between Jaeyun, Gosudark, and Crossy. I don't know what to expect. There's only one way to find out, and that is by getting into the most common BSL map this season, Power Bond. So let's get into it. It's Jaeyun versus Gosudark in a best of 3 to advance on to the winner's match of Group C. All right, here we are. Welcome everybody to game number 1 of our second best of 3 in the upper left-hand corner in the opaque, whatever that color is, peach color. This is our North American player, Jaeyun.
In the top right, we've got the very aggressive South American Protoss. It is Gosudark. All right, so all eyes on Gosudark because I want to see, is there a pylon in the main? Is it at the natural? What's it going to be?
Okay, still no pylon. It's day 4 and still no pylon. All right, here we go. The probe. Building the pylon. Not in the main. At the natural. Okay, all right. Disappointed. But also, there's pylon number 2 that will need to be built at some point as well.
Well, we've seen, was it La Abuela who scouted fast and then followed up with a gateway? So this looks like a Forge expand, and that is definitely something in Gosudark's arsenal. But this time, he's building a bunch of probes. So we are actually going to see a Forge expand. So I guess we're not going to see fireworks from the start. And luckily for Gosudark, he's going to find Jaeyun first. And I don't know, did that Overlord see the probe? Because if it didn't, now he can block this hatch. But he's not going to. He's just going to come in here. Missed opportunity from Gosudark.
Yeah, that really does feel like he had... I mean, obviously Gosudark's plan is not contingent on whether or not he blocks the hatch, but any little thing that you can get done to annoy the Zerg player, you should probably try to get that done. So, no block on the hatch. The drone is going to be out here, and I guess with the drone heading out, he actually might not have seen the probe with the Overlord.
Yeah, but he's going to see this pylon pretty soon. And in response to the hatchery, we're just going to have Nexus first. So this is as good of opener as you can get from Gosudark. And Jaeyun putting down the spawning pool. Now, oh, he's going for split map already. We're going Jaeyun style. Oh, maybe... Oh, I thought he was going to take bottom middle, but I guess that was just a scouting drone. Now he's found Gosudark and just turns it around. Now, where does he want to put it? Are we going to see it at base with gas? We've actually seen that quite a few times, taking a gas base, which is a little surprising to me, instead of just taking the mineral only.
Yeah, I mean, if I had seen him place it at the inner 6, I'm just like, whoa, okay, we're really going the distance. But no, it is just going to be at the mineral only. Okay, no, it's not. Never mind. We made another decision here. The drone was debating me there, Nyoka. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be built right there, Nyoka. And he's just gonna somehow the hatchery's gonna fit right there.
Right there.
I don't know, my dude. Definitely kind of hiding this drone. I'm not sure if he just like doesn't know where to. I mean, obviously he's played this map before, but we're still a little indecisive. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Any moment now. Third hatch. Let's see it.
There we go. All right. Finally. A little bit slower than I expected, but at least we have it. It is at the mineral only.
All right, well, Jaeyun's opener, there's no instant hydrogen, so far it's not going into the straight 934 or 9734, which I don't think Jaeyun really uses that often. Generally, I think Jaeyun just goes with his own thing and kind of just tries to build as many drones as possible. And instead of going for the current meta, he is just going to go for fast lair, and cybernetics is about 50% done for Gosudark. We don't see +1 spinning just yet for Gosudark. It's a little bit early for that, but it could come in pretty soon. Gosudark does confirm the mineral only, and the Ling's on the high ground. I didn't see if the probe got pushed back before lair. Oh, it actually gets in.
Wow. Okay. Well, Gosudark, a huge scout coming in here, and he is going to see that the lair is on the way.
Yeah, so really crucial scout for Gosudark. He wouldn't really have any idea what Zerg was. Look at this Citadel placement. These players these days are definitely going for interesting mind games. Bonyth with the cybernetics, and now Gosudark with Citadel at the natural. But Jaeyun too smart for that. He sees the Citadel. Why on earth would you ever scout there? There's like so little area to put down any tech, yet he sees it, and Gosudark instant 4-gate. This is what I was talking about. Gosudark likes to just get in your face as fast as possible, and he's going to have a lot of zealots.
Man, I mean, sometimes... Okay, I mean, this is not a mystery. The Overlord is right there, and he's like... I mean, I don't know how high Overlords can count. Maybe they just relay the vision back to the Overmind, and hopefully that can count up to 4. This is going to be a lot. There's no mystery of what we're going to see. The Gosudark is going to make zealots. They're going to have legs. I mean, 2 legs and then faster 2 legs. And we're just going to let Jesus take the wheel a little bit. I don't know. Jaeyun, he knows what's coming. Let's see if he can hold on.
Yeah, and this is the epitome of Gosudark style. Like, we're cutting really hard on the probes. They have not been building for quite a while. So when builds like this go unscouted, you just get punished really hard. But now that Jaeyun sees it, he should be able to hold it. Now, this actually is a variation that I was playing when I would off-race Protoss, and what I like to do afterwards was hide 2 Stargate, because you know that Zerg is probably going mutas, and as I say that, mutas are in production. So if you can follow up with something like 2 Stargate, get 4-6 Corsairs, all of a sudden you have Mass Zealot combined with Mass Sayer, and you know that the opponent is only going to have mutas. So I would have liked to see that, but we don't see double Stargate anywhere for Gosudark, and I'm already a bit worried for him.
Yes. I mean, it feels weird to say that mutas aren't really a counter to zealots. They just don't kill them quickly enough. So you're right. Mutas out on the way, flying over the zealot boys. They are heading down to the 3rd. There's already a sunken, double sunken. You knew where these zealots were going, so maybe they kill some lings. They won't do a lot else.
Yeah, this did not work out for Gosudark. The Citadel, I like the placement, but Jaeyun with good sense scouts it out, and now what do you do as Gosudark? He's cut so much to get this. He's got double cannons going up at his main. He's got to build a cannon at his natural to make sure mutas don't deal any damage. And now all these zealots, they're probably just all going to die for free. And then that's going to give Jaeyun free reign over the map. And you can't let Jaeyun just sit here and power.
Yes, powering on power bond, not something that is a good idea, especially when it's a Zerg, especially when it's 3 base. And so if you get that extra main, then you're just good. Cannons coming up back at home, obviously to try to delay the amount of damage that the mutas can do. They're already doing so much damage just eliminating that zealot threat, or at least making it more full.
Yes, zealots are still running around. They took a lot of hits. Jaeyun was chasing them for quite a while. I am surprised that these Zealots actually live. Here come the Mutas into the natural, getting probe kills left and right. And it's, look how many Mutas it was. It's only 5. It's not even a big commitment. It's just the perfect amount to kill probes. And behind this, Gosudark's transitioning into an Archon. Wow. Guess he's going to follow up his, not all in, but a very aggressive build with more aggression. He's got double Archon even.
Double Archon, but he can't actually use the Archons anywhere else except the natural. The Archons are too busy killing his own buildings to actually kill the Mutas. So I don't know if that's working as intended, but congratulations, Gosudark. You did in fact kill your own building now. So time to head out across the map.
And these Mutas did so much damage, not just killing the Zealots. If we look at the probe line for Gosudark now, there's 5 on minerals. And this was 5 Mutas. This is ridiculous amounts of damage for 5 Mutas. And Gosudark is going to try and move out, but nothing has changed. The Sunkens are still there. The Lings have remained. We've got Hydras on the way. We've got even Lurkers on the way. And once the Lurkers come up, there's no Robo in sight. There's no Storm in sight. Just what do you do from Gosudark's point of view? He also lost his Forge, so he doesn't even have +1.
Oh man, it's such a dangerous game. There's the Archon hit, and it's only going to take 2 more. Maybe 1 more, 2 more. Oh, this is so scary watching Mutas versus Archons.
Yeah, the Mutas really don't have much farther range than an Archon, so they got to be careful. And Gosudark, he just has nowhere to go. And Jaeyun, meanwhile, he's got 5 hatch. He's taken a 4th base. He's got his hive already halfway done.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy's going very fast defiler, very fast upgrades.
I love the way that Jaeyun is using these Mutas to draw the Zealots and the Archons specifically away from his bases. It just takes all the pressure off. Jaeyun can do whatever he wants. He's using this to start getting his 4th base up and running. 3rd gas would be coming through as well. And once this hive kicks in, 3 gas Zerg with plenty of money, that's going to be scary.
Yeah, and he's got perfect saturation across all of his bases, very well saturated his 3rd. I guess a couple more drones would have been nice at the Nat, but now with the 4th base coming up, we're going to have so many drones, so much econ for him. Meanwhile, Gosudark's still just stuck in his main. He's just now, or he's halfway got range, but he doesn't have that big 8-gate flood just yet. Is there a Robo anywhere? Okay, Robo just started at the natural, so it's still going to be quite a while for him to move out, and by the time he actually moves out, Jaeyun, he's going to have like 10 hatches, maybe even 5 base at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Jaeyun's kind of starting to run away with this. And this is exactly where Jaeyun wants to be, right? We talked about how slowly he wants to play the game. But now that all the pressure's off, he can start speeding that up a little bit. Hatcheries everywhere. Hatchery man in full effect, Nyokin.
Yeah, this is exactly how Jaeyun plays and how he wants to play. He's content with just sitting in his base up until the 15-minute mark, get all of his econ running, get all of his tech running. And then after that, then we start seeing the APM that Jaeyun can really dish out. He starts dropping everywhere. He just starts attacking everywhere. And then you're kind of, from the Protoss point of view, you better be set up because Jaeyun's just going to be merciless. He's going to be everywhere. And if you're not set up, eventually he will find the hole and break you. So Gosudark, you better get up a strong army, a lot of Storm, a lot of Reavers or something, because Jaeyun right now, how many hatches he got? He got 9 hatch or 8 hatch.
5, 6, 7. I think we're almost to 8 because he built like another 2 down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're maybe 7 or 8 hatcheries. It's actually crazy. Oh, actually no, 9. There we go. 8 or 9 hatch. Crazy. So yeah, hatchery man. That's why we call it that. He is gonna have the sickest macro. I mean, we're just gonna see him skyrocket above Gosudark's supply, and that's not necessarily where Zerg is supposed to be, but it's where Jaeyun is headed.
He's already got +1 on his Hydras. It's matching the upgrades of Gosudark because Gosudark had to kill off his Forge just to get his Archons out. And Jaeyun has a worker lead. I mean, everything's going well for him. Yet Gosudark is still somehow up 20 supply. He's just now taking his mineral only, but because this is Power Bond, the mineral only, no gas. He needs to get a 4th gas pretty soon if he wants to keep up. But where does he take it? If he takes top left, that's going to be a vulnerable position that drops. If he takes mid right, that opens up the mineral only. Really, a very difficult spot for Gosudark to be on, and I see that the defilers are done with already consume available, so Hive is already kicked in, and gonna be tough.
I forgot the -1 on my math equation, but there we go. Yeah, it's gonna be super tough. Watch these High Templar run for the hills. The Speedlings, not gonna be able to snipe any off. Here comes round number 2 for the Archons, Zealots, just gonna buffer remarkably. Is he gonna lose one High Templar? Wow, no. Gosudark gets all the way across the middle of the map, and all of a sudden, kind of gotta hold our breaths here, Nyoken. This is a lot of Protoss, and it hasn't really been stopped at all.
Yeah, it is a lot of Protoss, but we've got Lurkers set up. We've got Defilers already set up. We've got speed on the Overlords, which necessarily, don't help you defend. But what that means is that Jaeyun's looking to drop pretty soon. As I say that, he started upgrading it at his main. And here comes Gosudark. He's got to try and get something done, but with Dark Swarm out in the field, all these Dragoons that he have really aren't going to do much. Here come the Zealots, but they just run into 3 Lurkers, instantly turns around.
What are you going to do? There's only one observer here as well, so keep in mind that even as soon as Plague finishes, you Plague that thing, it's visible. Also, this clumped up army is just not going to cut it. And there's no way that Gosudark can break through double swarm into the natural or third. So he's forced to kind of reconsider things, and now he's heading for the 4th, but that might be even harder. I mean, that might be even harder.
Yeah, he's attacking uphill. There's just really no angle for him to come. He's going to try to bust in here, but Dark Swarm to save the day. All this, well, not all the Zealots, but a lot of the Zealots taking a lot of damage, and that's really his only option to attack into these Lurkers with Zealots, but they just melt more. They're just coming in through the top. All the Zealots fall. Gosudark, he wants to be aggressive, but he needs to just start playing passive because really nothing's working. And now we finally see Jaeyun overtaking supply.
Well, I mean, at least Gosudark has a 3rd base up and running. Granted, it's a mineral only. And now that Cracklings and Swarm are done, good luck, Protoss, buddy. That's going to be a rough one. Also, Plague now finished as well. And Drop, which could be the craziest one of all. Let's watch these Defiler boys, see how well they can do. Oh, nice Plague there. Only catches a couple of Archons, though. But how? I thought that was an area of effect spell. So now our little wiggly boys are headed back to the Zerg main base and they consume some more Zerglings. And I don't think these Archons care too much about being plagued, Nyoken.
No, they don't care at all. I'm waiting for Jaeyun to go for a drop because we know that he's gotten drops on his Overlords. He's got basically all the drones he wants. Well, actually, his drone count is actually low. Now that I'm looking at it, it's still 46, which is a bit surprising. So even though Gosudark didn't have the greatest opener, the fact that Jaeyun has not powered as hard as he's used to powering, Gosudark is still in it, but we do have a counterattack to the mineral only, drawing all the units out of position to mid-right. Gosudark, there's just pure cannons here. We have the Filerling Lurker. Those cannons are going to do absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, Nyoken's trying to expand to 6 o'clock. You sure are, Nyoke. Jaeyun is trying to expand to the 6 o'clock, and he's got a bunch of army down there, so his army's not as big as it might seem. Tons of swarm all over this Protoss base, but actually not doing enough to kill it.
Yeah, this is very surprising that Gosudark was able to hold this so easily. Oh, I hear Lurkers still firing, but they actually don't kill the 3rd base. And now we've got double robotics set up there.
Yeah, triple Reaver on the way. 3.
Yeah, this is exactly what Gosudark needs because it's not like his upgrades are super strong right now. He does have 2-1, which is not bad, but Zerg also has +2. So he needs to have the cost-effective units. First couple of Reavers have moved out, and now all of a sudden Gosudark is even in bases. This is so shocking to me.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is that I was very surprised that even though Jaeyun was able to get up all these bases and all these hatcheries, he never really droned that hard. He's still sitting on 45 drones.
Yeah, it's really surprising. I would have expected to have like 70, but here comes a big drop into the main, and the army is way out of position, and with no shuttles either. The Reavers can't even help. So this is going to decimate all of the tech of Gosudark.
Man, Protoss and losing their main to Swarm Cracklings. Name a more iconic duo. I mean, he's not actually swarming. I guess he didn't actually put a Defiler in the drop. But everything's gonna die. Cracklings just kill everything instantly. It's actually so disgusting to watch.
Yeah, and these links don't even have upgrades. They're just +0.
Wow, these they're +1 carapace. That carapace is really going to town here, Jaeyun. Wow. Oh my gosh, crackling. Adrenal glands. There we go. There's just been family-friendly name. And even still, they're just gonna kill pylon after pylon. Not quite supply blocking Gosudark, but this is just also the first of many drops, because you can see everything that's coming to the 3 o'clock location, getting ready to be ferried into the main.
Here we go. He's going to try and knock down this 4th base, but there's a lot of Protoss here. The Reavers are also, well, they're trailing, but they're closer than I expected. Storm pretty perfect on those Lurkers, but I don't think there's enough Zealots to actually get into the... Well, the Lurkers got to be under Dark Swarm to be invincible, which they're not, and they do get cleaned up. And look at the supply. It's still very even.
Yeah, all of these drops are killing off a lot of infrastructure, like some pylons, some cannons, but not actually a lot of the key tech here. Now, this little chunk of cracklings down south or in the 3 o'clock is actually going to do quite a bit. Oh, they're going to pick off the Reaver. No way! Crackling, he's not watching this rear Reaver. And so the cracklings are actually going to get a kill on one of the Reavers by themselves.
Yeah, and we've got action all over the place because we got another Ling Lurker Defiler attack to the middle only, but it gets shut down by the Reaver. Meanwhile, Gosudark out in the center of the map with this really weird unit comp. And this one Lurker and couple Lings actually might kill the 4th base. Gosudark, it's getting a little too crazy for him. Oh, amazing play, hits the entire army.
Wow, all those Reavers just going to be so low health. Oh, disgusting. 4 red Reavers. That is no Protoss's dream. Every nightmare. And here come the crackling. These Reavers are just going to explode. And yeah, there goes 1, 2. A couple of them are very, very bruised. Let's see if he can assassinate these with some cracklings.
Yeah, he's got to micro them perfectly because there's no shuttle to save them. And he's done an okay job. At least he's kept 2 alive. The 4th base did go down, though. And Gosudark, he's all of a sudden down to 1 base mining. And if we take a look into the main, side effects of that drop, we're not mining gas, and gas so important to Protoss.
Gosudark really has to deal a catastrophic amount of damage with this push, because back home, like you said, not mining gas, not really mining a lot at all. He's mining off of 1 base right now, and that is not going to cut it against the Zerg that's now taken most of his side of the map. I mean, there's Reavers, there's Archons, Storms, Observers, like all that's going to work pretty well, but he actually does get a Plague Off on that Observer, so not only is he going to be weak, very vulnerable to being picked off.
Yeah, so this is probably just going to be Gosudark's last stand here. He's got his Reaver all the way across the map. You got to do what you can with it. At least he takes down the Defiler, but it gets plagued. And now the Reaver's out in front. Can't have that. Oh, good hit. Getting so dangerously low. And Jaeyun, he really just doesn't have many units right now. Where are they? He's at 100 supply, but where's the supply? It's all at the bottom in the Lurkers and Mutas.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that he has so much invested in defending the 6 o'clock base, when he actually could probably use a little bit of that to help shore his, natural up a little bit.
Gosudark is pretty... Oh, that 1 Reaver goes down. I was saying he's busting through with actually 1 Reaver. He took down the Nidus. He's taking down Sunkens. He's taking down Lurkers because he's able to actually splash them with the Reaver. But now the Mutas have come from the bottom. And even though there's only 2, there's only 1 Goon and 1 Archon.
This is so funny, Jaeyun. These are the 2 little Mutas that could right there. He's also just going to be able to target down the Observer right there. And... Oh, I thought the replay was bugged because the... Zerglings were just like glitching around and back and forth, but now I think this is where why do I think you're playing Jaeyun? I don't know. Jaeyun, he's the actuarial half of Jaeyun that was split into a Zerg player.
Yeah, we finally found the crack in Gosudark because finally Jaeyun has a sizable supply lead. It's 125 to 95. There's no Reavers coming out of any of these robotics. Why? Because we just don't have the gas. He's also extremely low on minerals, so this is probably going to be, I imagine, maybe the last fight. Oh, there's no Dark Swarm.
That Plague was also very substandard. It hit 1 Observer. Nice. So Jaeyun still has to pull back here. He does not have an overwhelming supply advantage. Plus, that a lot is down at the bottom base. So keep an eye, like maybe take 30 supply out of the equation because it is way down south. So heading out west, this is one of probably the last push that Gosudark's got in. He does not have a lot of money behind this. There's a crackling counterattack coming across the map here, but it's not really headed towards anywhere. Maybe it'll come back for a flank. Gosudark is way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he's trying to find the right angle. Maybe there's a good angle down to this fifth base for Jaeyun. There's only one lurker, 3 colonies, but they're not sunken, so he could actually try and kill that. A good plague hitting a lot of the Dragoons. And Gosudark, does he even know about bottom middle? He's gonna find out now, and he's gonna run into certain death. There's 4 lurkers here.
Yeah, wow. Whew. Yeah, this is not going to work out. And really, Gosudark is just sort of like wandering aimlessly around the map. This is, I don't know where you're supposed to go. He's going to try to hit this 6 o'clock base. It's not going to go well for him. So finally, all of those forces that Jaeyun just kind of had sitting idly down south are really paying off.
Yeah, there's just no angle for Gosudark. He's basically starved out at this point. He doesn't have the units that he needs, the unit comp. He doesn't have a 4th base going anywhere. And Jaeyun, he's just setting up for a big, massive concave. He's going to catch the Templar even. Good storm, but we're just slowly getting dwindled down. Plague is just so strong versus Protoss. We haven't seen another one just yet, but half of the units are already plagued.
Yeah, that's right. That's going to do it. GG, Gosudark taps out. And Jaeyun takes a very hard-fought Game 1 win in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, that was, I thought, a guaranteed win from the opener for Jaeyun, but Gosudark able to pull it back. It's really the drop that sealed it. If he didn't take crippling losses to the drop, he was still in it. He was fine. He had all those robos. He had 4 base. Despite having the slow upgrades, he was still trading pretty well. It was just the drop did him in.
Well, the drop did him in. Also, he got, I think, 4 Reavers plagued, I think it was. So that obviously, like, if you can keep 4 Reavers alive, there's very little you cannot do in a game. But unfortunately, he was never able to do that, and that means that Jaeyun goes up 1-0 in the series. But that was pretty hard, and I mean, Jaeyun stayed on a very low drone count for a very long amount of time, so I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a winning strategy if he keeps that up.
Yeah, it was definitely a little troublesome for Jaeyun, so maybe he was a little nervous. You know, he doesn't play tournaments that often. I don't know. But yeah, he definitely needs to get that drone count up because he was in an amazing position. He just got a drone, though.
He sure does. I mean, if there's one player that likes to drone, it's Jaeyun. So our second game is on the map Gladiator, and this means that Gosudark has one job: just win a game. I don't care if you ever or never win a game again. One game. That's what your life has come down to, because I want to see Oxide. What a map. We haven't seen it yet in BSL. So I'm going to be a little bit biased towards Gosudark because I really want to see Oxide, but honestly, it could go either way. So I'm ready. You ready for game 2, Nyoken?
Oh, yes.
All right, let's do it. Game number 2 on the map Gladiator. The winner of this series, of course, goes on to the winner's match to face Bonyth. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of our second best of 3 series. It's Jaeyun versus Gosudark. Wow, I just introed the players, didn't I? In the bottom right-hand corner, in the opaque as Zerg, it's Jaeyun.
And in the top right, we've got the teal Protoss player. It is Gosudark. And lucky Jaeyun again, getting off a first scout. It's pretty mandatory to scout Gosudark because you saw what he did last game. Those were 445 gateways rapid, and normally when you see second, third, fourth gate go up, this is like at least 630. So If he hadn't seen it, he would have been in real trouble. I really think that those mutas were just in response to what he's seen. He normally doesn't open mutas like that. So a good lucky scout for him so far.
Yeah, and more than that, I think he's going to see, yeah, he did clip the probe there. Actually, the probe's going to see the Overlord too. So both players know where each other is. But I think that's definitely better for Jaeyun because scouting Gosudark is one of the most important parts of winning against him too.
Well, that was really interesting probe movement because you can definitely tell that Gosudark has done that before based on how he moved that. And now, even though Jaeyun saw the probe, now he can't 12 hatch like he wants to. And now I would assume that that would be in Gosudark's favor because he's forcing out the pool first. And we do have Gosudark again going for a Forge first build. We're going to have to see how Gosudark wants to, or Jaeyun wants to transition out of this. Yep, here we go, Forge.
Okay, yeah, Forge on the other side. Yeah, Gosudark is not the player to go for, well, I guess sometimes he will just like gateway man you into the ground. But I like that he's thinking a little bit further ahead, a little bit more outside the box. Like, okay, I at least need a natural expansion first and foremost. And then, we'll think towards exactly how he wants to body slam Jaeyun a little bit later on.
Jaeyun's building 6 lings, so he definitely wants to get some type of counter damage done. A lot of times you're only seeing 2 lings or 4 lings, but rarely do you see 6 lings. Wow. Gosudark just blindly built 2 cannons. He's not messing around. He doesn't care. Oh no, the probe went down. But it's okay because he had already preemptively built the 2 cannons.
And this is Pylon, Forge, Double Cannon, all before Nexus. So you can see Gosudark is maybe, he's certainly not cutting too many corners here.
Nope, this is pretty good. It was definitely a correct read from him, and in response we do have Jaeyun going for the 245, 250 gas. Probe is going out for a secondary scout, but the Overlord saw it. Look at this genius play from Gosudark. Sends it out to the left side. He knows that the lings are probably going to go up there. Goes around back behind the Overlord, and now he's actually going to get around all the defense and get off a secondary scout. Now he's going to come in here and see. I don't really think he's going to see much. Maybe it would have been a better scout to try and find the hatcheries. I'm not sure.
Yeah, obviously this probe getting through is going to be really crucial for Gosudark. I was actually talking to Tasteless a little bit earlier on tonight. He's re-experiencing what the modern ladder is now that he can play again, and he's talking about how scary it is for anybody learning or at least just playing a lot of ladder in the early part of the game for PvZ, where you lose your first probe and you don't get a chance to scout until you build a Corsair later on, because you just don't know how many hatcheries are there. Is he going Hydras? Is there a lair? Nobody knows. But this probe is really going to be huge. Seeing this lair morphing basically right in his face.
Yeah, I thought that we were going to see zeros 9734 because we had the Hydrogen just built right in Protos's base, but instead he does get a lair. He could cancel it, which is, I actually would like to see it cancel. And just
that would be such a big brain move. Oh my, wow! I would lose my mind.
And like what you were saying about Tasteless saying, it's really, you really have no idea what Zerg is doing. It's so true. I hate playing versus Zerg when I'm playing Protoss. I almost feel obligated to do the same style every single time when I face them. Stargate, 4-gate speed into 8-gate, like every single time. And when you're forced to do that, Zerg can just blind counter you, right? So every time I see somebody get very clever opening straight Citadel or Bonyth with, even just a subtle change with the Forge at the entrance, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And Probe gets picked off again.
Ooh. Okay, well, let's see if there's any sort of change or reaction. I don't really see too much. There's speed on the way, about to finish. These 6 lings head out on the map. But even though we had 6 lings early, that's the only lings we ever had. So I think it's easy to see the 6 lings and be like, oh wow, he either really wants to deny the scout or really wants to do something across the map. But he didn't actually do either one of those.
Oh, Ling's trying to get in.
Whoa, how did that one get through? What? Instant replay that for me. What happened there?
I don't know what those things were trying to do. Were they just scouting? Were they trying to get into the main? That was a bit much, but at least he does confirm there's 4 cannons. I guess the Hydra Den has thrown Gosudark a little for a loop, and behind this, seeing that there's so many cannons being put up, Jaeyun can just continue to power. He's got good saturation at his 3rd, good saturation at his nat. Would like to see some more hatcheries. There it is at the natural 4th, going down 5th, going to be coming down pretty soon.
Yeah, it sure is. I think the 5th is, oh man, exactly where Jaeyun wants to be. Anytime I see Jaeyun with like more than 3 hatcheries, I'm like, that's where he wants to be at, because he is, well, I would have characterized him as a macro player if he just didn't stop building drones in that last game, but he definitely does play that 5 hatch style a little bit more. And ooh, okay, what is this but a flyer carapace on the way, Nyoken?
Oh, so he is.
I hope that's not just for Scourge.
I actually think no, I think it's just for the Sares, because he saw the Stargate opener from Gosudark. Well, Gosudark's not getting +1 weapon on his Sares, so that's a little interesting. But yeah, it's definitely just in response to seeing the Stargate. If you get armor and Protoss doesn't get +1 weapon, all of a sudden you don't even care about Sares anymore. They just deal no damage. So really nice response from Jaeyun, but we see that Gosudark is actually going for DT.
So this is really interesting. I mean, I guess I wouldn't. I don't know. It's always weird to me how Gosudark tries to kill people, because it's different every time. But it is going to be Sarah DT, getting legs as well along with it. Let's see what these Scourge can see as they get in there. No cannon in the main, so he could actually. Oh wow! I thought he was going to catch that Corsair.
Yeah, he did catch a Corsair in the middle of the map, but Gosudark has built up 3 more Sares, but 3 Sares is really not that scary, especially now that he saw that there's no cannons in the main. I would like to see him just go into mutas, but as I say it, I'm just now realizing that Jaeyun has only 1 gas so far, so not able to transition into mutas because we just don't have the resources. And I don't know what this Hydra Den is for at the left side. We may see just a big influx of double upgraded Hydras really fast.
Yeah, I mean, did he just like forget? I don't think so. Maybe he just needed an extra building, but then use an Evo.
Yeah, he may have forgotten that that he already had the Hydra Den. It's a great Sim City though. Look at this. And what's great about it is when he drills, the drones are going to go up there, right? It's not like the drones are going to go through the bottom.
Yeah.
This attack isn't going to work.
No.
This is just so fun. I hate Zergs that play like this. They sit in their base, they build drones, they build 2 Sunkens, they have this Sim City set up where it's like, oh, well, I can bust that. No, you can't, because they have like 2 Lings, they drone drill when they realize the Lings are going to die, and then what do you do as Protoss? You're forced to turn around. Meanwhile, they're on 4 base. It's so painful.
I'm going to disagree with our South American friend that thinks that if you try to disrespect Gosudark, then he's gonna beat you playing with his feet. I think for the most part, Gosudark is like trying. I really respect that, like getting out there, trying to make it through, but there's just no way to do that, and that is very frustrating. It's just as frustrating as you characterized it, Nyoken, to play against a player that just doesn't let you do anything. Like what are you supposed to do? I mean, this is just like airtight. This is not just like those watches that say waterproof to 30 meters. This is like, we're going deep sea diving. This is like about as waterproof as it gets.
Yes, Gosudark is doing what you should do. He didn't go into 8 gate. He built a few more gates. He's at 6, but he expands immediately. You've got to keep matching the expansions of Zerg to keep up. But versus someone like Jaeyun, he wants you to do this. He wants you to go expand, because all that means is he gets to put down more hatcheries. He gets the tech freely. I guess Jaeyun has to be a little worried that Gosudark could double expand at this point, which would give him 4 base access.
Ooh.
But Jaeyun's just always content with that. He just put down 4 hatches at bottom left. We're at 10 hatch now.
10 hatcheries, disgusting. So Jaeyun has a Zergling at the 12 o'clock base, which is so cool because if you're going to get a 4th base, that's a pretty good spot to put it. So he's watching for the 4th there, and I don't think Gosudark is going to pull out that, the G5 where you just like put a base in a random place and hope it doesn't get scouted. So Jaeyun's got a really good read on the situation. He also has a million hatcheries, so all this larva, this is just going to be so crazy to deal with. I
like what Gosudark is trying to do now because he just built 3 DTs, and this is going to be a DT drop, and he's kept a lot of his Sares alive. Now he needs to go clear out these Scourge. He can't just blindly send the shuttle that he's building, but if he can clear out the Scourge, if we look in the main, that's the one spot in the entire bottom side of the map that Gosudark can get some damage in. Here he goes. He's pushing back a few Scourge there. I don't know if he knows there's Scourge right outside the Nat, but here comes that shuttle. Please don't run into the Scourge. They're sitting right there.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I feel like you might have cursed this. Oh. Here we go. That is a lot of Corsairs. 6 Corsairs. They do have, or they don't have +1. And here comes the shuttle behind them. The Corsairs should be able to take out quite a few of these Scourge. Yeah, 1, 2 Scourge getting taken down. 3, 4 Scourge going to get taken out as well. And here comes Mr. Shuttle with Quattro DTs in there.
Yeah, 4 DTs, but the Overlords are in range. But look how fast the Hydras just get.
Oh, disgusting.
This is 3 DTs too, with no Overlords. Oh, there's still 1 alive, but 3 DTs, that's 120 damage that you can just burst down this lair, burst down Hydrogen, burst down the Evolution Chamber.
Well, joke's on him. If he kills the Hydrogen, there's a second Hydrogen. So the big brain checkmate going on here from Jaeyun. He is starting to lose a few Corsairs. So this is bad. Oh, no, he doesn't kill. The Overlord lives with 9 HP. And so the base is going to survive, in theory.
Yeah, Hydra's going to clean up these DTs now, and he just instantly puts his drones back on it. And behind this, Gosudark wasn't able to expand because Jaeyun went for a counterattack. So really the drop didn't get much damage done. Sure, it forced a drone pull, but it didn't kill any of the key buildings. It got the Hydra Den, but we know there's already a second one on the left side. And now he starts to morph his hive. And Jaeyun's within 15 supply with 10 hatches.
Yeah, obviously there was a small roadblock in that one. So, well, I will say I think the biggest thing for me about that is that it could have gone very well for Gosudark, and that should just show you how volatile the life of a Zerg player is here. Because the perfect storm hits, and you just are not going to have a good time. You might have a great macro, but even with 10 hatcheries pumping Hydras, you walk into a few storms, you've got no Hydras left.
Yeah, and Gladiator is one of those maps where you can have vision advantage. We saw it in Terra versus DeWalt. He got a positional advantage on the high ground, and he just decimated DeWalt's army. And Gosudark is getting into a somewhat pretty good position. He's up 30 supply. He's got Templars with the amulet upgrade, so he has 3 storms available, but he's fighting uphill. But if he can get off these perfect storms, there's a good one right there. Good dodge. Lurkers come out though.
These storms, oh my god, oh, disgusting. Well, like I said, a million Hydras can become no Hydras in no time. That is a lot of storms to use, so I like that you pointed out that upgrade was done, because every High Templar that gets added to this army is going to be very, very useful. So there's a few more headed out across the map if they make it there. But look at these cracklings. They're starting to come in from around the corner. They actually do not have the Adrenal upgrade, but there are still quite a few of them. They're getting on top of the Dragoons. There are no Zealots to sort of help out here, so this is just Ling on Dragoon, but I mean the upgrades coming through. It's 102 or 201 if you want to look at it that way, versus Zerg that only has Carapace.
Well, Gosudark has kept a lot of his Dragoons alive. He needs to constantly reinforce. I see he's got a shuttle. I would love to see even just a Zealot drop into the main. As I say that, I noticed that Jaeyun has Sunken and Ling already set up, so that wouldn't have worked out, but it would have been a nice idea. Meanwhile, he's going to pick off the hatchery, but
yeah,
Jaeyun's doing a good job. He's denied top middle, and again, Gosudark's about to mine out. Third, Nat, main are almost all completely dry at this point.
Yeah, this and maybe a little bit more is about it. So for Gosudark, he's got to go. And if he takes this 6 o'clock base down, that's a big deal. But now, look at the reinforcements coming in from Jaeyun. He needs, Gosudark needs a lot of storms. He storms one of his observers, but he's still got 3 left, so he's okay there. The storm forces Jaeyun to sort of hold back for a second, but there's more coming.
Jaeyun's army is just so tiny. He's down 60 supply now. He's got all of his, I guess, production on the left side, and that kind of is limiting how much of a flank he can really get off, because all Gosudark has to do is storm that side. Gosudark smartly is going to back off for now, because he's, well, I don't know. If he backs off, Jaeyun's already got all of his bases running, but he does need to get a 4th base. And look at what Jaeyun, insta counterattacks top middle.
Oh, I love this. Really good positioning on these zealots, but they're just not going to last for very long. Once Adrenal's done, like it is now, we've got +2 carapace ground unit. I'm not used to seeing that. Usually, there's at least one, attack upgrade. Now he's got to finish. So it's 1-2 Zerglings. With those upgrades, they're just going to last way too long. It keeps +1 from 2-shotting them, but he's got +2 weapons on zealots. So.
We got a Muta switch to pick off those Templars, and now there's really not that many Dragoons left over. Mutas could probably just straight up kill the Dragoons, but he's sharking around trying to find any available Templars to pick off. Meanwhile, the Sunkens and the Lings with this SimCity is just doing so much damage. Now the Mutas finally realize there's no storm, and they're going to start picking off these goons.
Yeah, here they come. There are also 3 very juicy observers here as well, but yeah, Mutas are going to clear everything up. Beautiful switch there, full control group out of all of those larvae. And man, this is really starting to look pretty good for Jaeyun. He did take some damage, but he's able to give it right back.
Yeah, he wiped the entire army of Protoss. Meanwhile, he took a 5th base at bottom middle. He didn't lose anything. He lost his hatchery, one of his 9, and that was it. And Gosudark, he's dry in the name. Nat is gone. 3rd base. We're really down to 1,000 minerals, Rapid. That's it. We don't have anything else.
I mean, somehow, if Gosudark wants to get back into this game, he's got to find a way to take a base. He's trying for that 12 o'clock, but that is optimistic.
Yeah, these, like, 3-lings that have just been sitting at the top side have delayed the 4th base forever. I remember Gosudark trying to put up a natural or put up a base at around the 13-minute mark. We're approaching 5 minutes that Lings have just denied this. If he had this base, he would still be in it, but because he has no base, he's broke, and Jaeyun's just going to max out in the next few minutes. He's got all of his upgrades. Hive has been done for a while. What are his upgrades? Okay, he's at 2-1. I mean, he's just got a stranglehold on this game.
Yeah. Whew. Well, I think from now on out, it is going to be pretty good for Jaeyun. Let's see how he wants to try to work towards closing this game out. He's got Insanity Tech. He's getting Defilers up right now. 10 Overlords on the way. And along with Drop, probably give you a good idea what he's going for.
And he's got a lot of gas banked up. He could transition into Mass Lurker. He could transition into tons of Ultralisk. I don't see an Ultra Cavern anywhere, but he is starting to build a lot of Lurkers, and he's taking another mineral only. And the Lurker set up in combination with the Lanes, with the Defiler. No way Gosudark is getting up here.
So let's see. Gosudark is continuing to poke and prod and try to get what?
Look at Gosudark's money. We have 67 minerals. He can't build a Nexus. That's it. Oh. He's got a long distance mine now. Oh, he just can't. He canceled all of his units so he could build a Nexus.
I noticed that. He went up. Yeah, I was like, how bugged is this Street Play? I keep seeing things that are just so weird. So yeah, he canceled everything so that he could spam cannons and build a Nexus in the north. So this is it. That's what has to work. But he's also trying to fight at the same time. Scourge chasing the observers, and they get all but one. So one little lonely observer is the only thing keeping Gosudark able to fight all of these lurkers. Another Scourge. Oh, it's so scary.
He's got so many Dragoons, he was actually busting through. There's no Defilers out just yet. Here come Mass Mutas, but when they see this Dragoon count, they're going to have... Oh, he picks off the one Observer, and that's all he needed to do because there's no Observers out on the map.
building another one, and I believe there's one moving across the map. Yeah, there's two that are just now joining this army. So just a moment that he didn't have detection.
This is just so shocking to me. Gosudark is still up supply somehow. He's been trading really well. Here we go. This trying and break through again, but the Muta's just insta focus down that one observer. Oh, great storm!
Whoa! Sorry to cut you off there, Jaeyun, but what? He just lost every Muta and still didn't kill that observer. Actually, he might have gotten it right there at the end, but it doesn't matter anymore. Actually, no, he did not get it. So clearing through the lurkers. Another beautiful storm there on those lurkers and links to the south. Gosudark, dare I say, is doing it.
And what is going on? He's going to kill this mineral only. He's going to kill this hatch. He's going to kill the only sunken defending the left side. And Jaeyun's scrambling to get up units. He's floating a lot of resources. There's no Ultra Den anywhere, so he can't even just blow this 2K, 3K. He has, okay, a great Defiler, Dark Swarm there. Probably going to save the day because now we have 0 Zealots left over. It's just pure goons at this point.
Gosudark, man. What is this guy? Gosudark. Es increíble. This guy's a monster. I don't know how he's doing so much with so little, but he's got that 12 o'clock base up and running, needs to hit that gas, but that's about it. And maybe he can even start like expanding to like a 6 o'clock or a 12 o'clock or something. I don't know. But he does need to not overextend. There's a lot of Dragoons hitting Lings under Dark Swarm, so let's back it up for a second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gosudark has done a lot with a little, but he needs to make sure he doesn't throw this away.
He still has a lot of goons left over, but now we're starting to bleed up the move. Oh.
Yeah. That hurts a lot. And if he loses this High Templar, no more Storm.
Yeah, taking a Nexus while this was all happening would have been a really nice move from him. He would have evened it back up. It would have been, what is it, 5 base versus 5 base? Jaeyun, because he's so good at building drones, the third base he took is out of minerals. The main is almost out of minerals. The natural is almost out of minerals. The fourth base is getting low on minerals. Jae-Yoon was getting very close to mining out himself.
Yeah, both players, I think. I mean, Jae-Yoon, to be honest, he is mining off of 2 bases, which is not like 2.2, something like that. So now, I mean, at least there's money coming in for Gosudark, but he does need to start thinking about the next base, because eventually Dragoons are not going to cut it.
Yeah, and I see the top side of the map.
Oh, the Plague.
Plague was brutal, but we have Jaeyun finally, I guess, feeling confident. He's got a lurker drop going to the top middle, and the cannons, none of them can range these lurkers if they set up at the left corner of the mineral patch.
I'm watching. I'm leaned in very close, staring at the pixels here. And I really hope that we see some more teal, because certainly seems like it's a one-way trip. Oh, look at, oh, disgust. I hate, okay, here's what I hate about Zerg players. You got to share your thing, here's mine. It's when the Zerg players start to realize that they can't win an honorable heads-up game. They're like, what's the cheapest, most disgusting way that I can get back in this game? It's like, what if I plague all of his units? And then they go and they do it, and they feel like a big bad man. And yes, truly you are. Wow, you're so cool. All the kids in school will elect you class president. They'll never say mean things about you again, because you're the guy. You did it. You plagued the army. Wow.
Well, we do have that lurker drop. It shut down the mineral line. Gosudark only lost 10 probes, and he does have a Nexus being built at bottom right, so he'll be able to transfer probes there. But for now, we're still not mining, and the army hasn't come back. So Gosudark, he needs to do something about these lurkers, because this is we're not mining at all. It's just so much damage.
I'm also waiting to see this Dark Archon feed back these Defilers. That's going to be the poetic justice to all of this.
Gosudark's army is still very strong. Oh, I finally realized that Jaeyun has taken a supply lead. It's 160 to 136. Almost the entirety of Gosudark's army is plagued.
Oh,
there's another one.
Oh, he got another plague off without being able to be feedbacked. No justice in this life, Jaeyun.
Plague, I think, is best versus Protoss. A lot of people hate it versus Terran, but the reason I think it's even better versus Protoss is because it just wipes out the health, the armor, and then shields take full damage. There's no, heavy type versus light type effects. There's no reduced damage anywhere. It's just shields always take full damage. So when you get a Plague off and Protoss is stuck with 80 shields, it's actually like they're stuck with like 40 shields because they take full damage every time. And also they always don't get shields first, so it's +0 now.
Yeah, it's like a stasis that never wears off because your units are useless, but you also it's worse because they're still alive. Like when stasis wears off, like you get your units back, but when plague wears off, you don't get the health back because Protoss can't do that. So I guess Archons are okay against it, but also it feels bad to build Archons because once again shields take full damage. So he's hunting for some Defilers to feed back here because he didn't get Mind Control, and I don't think he has Maelstrom either.
He's got to have one of them, right? The Dark Archon would be. Well, I guess feedback.
I think it's just for
good.
feedback because he was getting plagued over and over again. And he's just thinking, okay, well, I'll just feedback. Unfortunately, it's not quite the solution he was looking for. Also, his entire army is almost useless because it's all been plagued. Oh, there it is. Where's the feedback? The Defiler! It's right there! Okay, well, there's the feedback, but he already cast the spell.
Yeah, and again, Jaeyun with another lurker drop. This time, he'll be able to shut down the top half of the mineral line. Maybe. Let's see how many kills. No reaction from either player.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Oh, well, it'll drop. Jaeyun, meanwhile, has taken top left. He's got his mineral only running. Gosudark is on 5 base. That's not bad. He's got a good unit comp. He needs to get more gas, though. He's completely gas starved.
Oh man, we are really saving the best for last here at the end of this game. It is going the distance, Nyoka, in almost 30 minutes. And hey, I just want to remind both players, if you're listening from the past, there is a base in the middle of the map. That's the Coliseum. Fight to your death for my amusement there, because it seems like they're just taking every other base. So eventually, that will be the base to take. This game has it all.
Yeah, we've got a drop for Jaeyun at the bottom right side of the map. He's got a lot of... God, the plagues are just endless. Every time I look at this army in the middle of the map, they're getting plagued. It's just every time. And, okay, those drops aren't moving. I thought they were just a minute ago.
Yeah. Wait, but doesn't he have to wait for the energy to come back on the Defilers, Nyoken?
No, they got consumed. They just have endless energy.
I'm so upset.
They're worse than Vipers. I thought Vipers were broken to SC2. These are even worse. Here we go, the drop. There's not very much Storm available. Lurker drop in the back. Also, Dark Swarm.
Jeez. Okay. All right, Jaeyun. Once again, Jaeyun's like, man, I can't kill him with the plague. Well, what else do I do? I don't know. Dark Swarm, Lurkling drop his base. It's like, how much dirtier can you get, Jaeyun? How many more of your morals do you have to compromise to win this game?
Well, this is going to be it for Gosudark because he didn't turn around to save his base. He's just going to go for it. He's attacking bottom left. He doesn't even know about top left. But there's just a huge lurker field here. We don't see any Defilers, though. This may actually be able to... Oh, there's no way you can break it. Look how many lurkers and lings are reinforcing.
He's got one observer. That's it. Oh, Scourge. Oh, it's chasing. No, it's not. It's dumb. Never mind. Scourge suck. Scourge are actually the worst unit, by far. It doesn't even... I'm not even kidding you. Feedback? No, another useless Dark Archon. Ooh. There it is. Boom goes the dynamite. That's what we were waiting for. And that's going to take it out. So, Gosudark's still holding on, but that 12 o'clock base is his last bastion of hope because he's not doing anything anywhere else, that's for sure.
And he's streaming units across the map, but unfortunately his army isn't synced up. These lanes coming in the back are just shredding through these goons. And he just wipes out half of the army before the other half can sync up. And this is going to be Gosudark going down to Jaeyun 2-0.
No, not now. We were supposed to get Oxide in game 3. I'm so disappointed. But actually, congratulations to Jaeyun. I think it's very clear that those guys were pretty evenly matched. That game, I'm so impressed that it went the distance that it did. But, I mean, in the end, Jaeyun takes the 2-0, so Gosudark down in the losers match. Jaeyun goes on to face Bonyth.
Yes, so nicely done from Jaeyun. A bit unfortunate that both games, Gosudark really just couldn't get his econ going. It was close regardless. So if he can just get that a little better in his next series versus Crossy, for sure, he could make it out. And then I guess it would come down to the decider match. But we do have Bonyth now. This, I don't know. Jaeyun looks a little shaky. I have a feeling that Bonyth might just run away with it.
You think? We might.
Yeah,
that may be in our future potentially. And as much as I hate to root against my North American compadre, it's going to be tough. Bonyth is a monster. So we have our winners match coming up next to find out which player will be the first one to advance out of Group C. Powerhouse Bonyth taking on Jaeyun, narrowly advanced to face off against him. So don't go anywhere. We're going to come back after a quick commercial break with the winners match of Group C. All right, welcome back, everybody. Wow, what a way to arrive at this particular point in time. We're coming into the winners match between Bonyth and Jaeyun. And I think we were all maybe a little bit questioning who would be the player that would kind of rise above everyone who isn't Bonyth, but I think it's still very clear that Bonyth is way up on top of Mount Olympus, and so all it's going to take is one more best of 3 for him to ascend to true godhood, and obviously then the round of 8 on afterwards. But it's not done yet. Jae-Yoon could have been sandbagging a little bit, but if the previous games are any indication, Bonyth is a strong favorite in this best of 3.
Yeah, Jaeyun I know doesn't play that often these days, so it's kind of showing a bit, but he still looked pretty good. He still did what he does, take bases, builds a ton of units. So Bonyth does need to be careful. He does need to make sure that he doesn't get supply block, which we've seen him consistently do around 60 to 80 so far. There is still a good chance for Jaeyun, but Bonyth is just so good, man. I don't know.
Yeah. What else are you going to say? Like, I feel like a lot of analysis goes into exactly why Bonyth is so good, but it all kind of comes back around to Bonyth is so good. So, you know, sometimes it's best to sit back and watch the master at work. So I'm ready to go. Are you ready, Nyoken?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Game number 1 of our winners match best of 3 is Sylphid. One of these players is going to advance on to the round of 8. One of them will advance on to the losers match. So let's get into it. Game number 1 on Sylphid. All right, welcome everybody to Sylphid. In the 12 o'clock location, in the red, playing Zerg from North America, it's Jaeyun.
In the bottom right, it is the Polish Protoss, Bonyth. Well, Rapid, we may not have to cast the curse because we already saw Dragon get knocked out, the Walt get knocked out from the previous top 4, but Bonyth looking so good today. More than likely going to make it out, and definitely he won't be cursed by no. What is the Artosis curse? Isn't it like he predicts someone to win and they never win?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so, dude, this is the thing about Artosis, right? Like, he wants more than anything for something iconic to be just like the Artosis thing. So he keeps like trying all these wacky things, and the curse is what's stuck. But in fact, it is in fact just the word curse being used in conjunction with his name. Like before Artosis, people knew what curses were. And then Artosis came along and people still knew what curses were, but then we get the Artosis curse and somehow this is different than every other curse before it. Except that it's actually just completely the same. So I don't know. But yes, that is what happens. Artosis predicts a player to win and he doesn't win. So yes, it is in fact a curse.
Well, we're going to see a cursed build because this, I thought this was a 9-9 gate, but it is just a 9 gate and probably like an 11 gate follow-up maybe from Bonyth. Or maybe it is just this. I guess I would have to re-watch our first game on Sylphid. I thought we just did 10 gate when we did Gateway Expand, but so far 1 gate, and we do have, I think this was Overpool from Jaeyun.
I mean, forward 9 gate makes this Zealot get there super fast. So I'm actually really excited because this is really going to be the stress test for Jaeyun.
Yeah, and this already throws a wrench into Jaeyun's style because Jaeyun wants to face the Forge. He wants to just build those drones, and now he's not going to be able to. But at least he knows who he's playing against. He knows Bonyth likes to go for the Gateway Expand, so he's definitely going to have something prepared, I imagine. Probe doing a good job to block this hatchery. Actually, Jaeyun's decided that there's no chance of it getting up, and he's going to put a hatchery down at the high ground.
Blocking that hatch is really, really big because you just, like, now look at how close this hatchery is to these Zealots coming out. You just made your opponent build their stuff closer to your stuff that's about to kill it. So, obviously, the point of this Zealot is not to kill the hatchery, but it's still going to be oh, actually, wow, he turns around right as he sees the Zealot, so that's actually pretty cool. Or right as he sees the Lings, the Zealot turns around.
Yep, Jaeyun made 6 Lings. He still doesn't know exactly what Bonyth opened with, but I guess he's assuming that it could be a Gateway Expand. We already saw him build 6 Lings versus Gosudark, so maybe it's just his go-to build when he goes for an Overpool. 4 lanes coming in here, sees that there is one Zealot. I love how Bonyth has positioned his probe and Zealot at the entrance to make sure that there's no Ling run by. He's already learned from the games versus Crossy.
Definitely a learning process here. But yeah, I don't think you can compare Crossy to Jaeyun. They definitely play different styles. So something to keep an eye on. Obviously, these Lings are just going to be annoying. Put on some pressure, and then the Zealots are going to come back up and bop them. So it is going to be interesting, though, to see what the follow-up is here, because once you double expand as Zerg, you kind of have to take a little bit of a second to sit back, relax, and either go all in or hold on against what could be a bunch of Zealots coming your way.
Now look at this. We had the Forge in the main last time. This time
Yeah.
we have a Forge at the entrance. Even though we don't do interviews, I wish we could get an interview with Bonyth after this, because I want to know what the reasoning was behind the Forge placement at the front this time. Like I said, I thought it was player specific versus Crossy, and now that he's facing Jaeyun, maybe again it is player specific. He knows how passive Jaeyun is. There's no threat of losing the Forge, but I'd really like to find out, because this is interesting, why he's already just 2 games today completely different, once in the main, once at the natural.
I want to say that's because of Crossy's style. I think he thinks that Crossy is like a Korean meta slave and just would go for the new hotness, that 9, 7, 8, 12, 16, 22 build.
Yes.
That one, yeah. But I think Jaeyun's style is obviously much different, so I don't think he thinks Jaeyun is the kind of player to like 3-hatch Hydra bust him, right? And I think he's probably correct on that read, except that he's not. So, I don't know what else to say. He is going to get 3-hatch Hydra.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a Hydra bust, and let's check the saturation for Jaeyun. He's got 9 drones in the main. He's building a few more drones, so this is somewhat of a variation of the 973 build, and this may already be a blind counter to what? Well, not a blind counter, because Bonyth still went straight Citadel, and I remember in the video, Zero was talking about if you open Stargate versus this potential opener, it's kind of a free win for the Zerg. So already a good counterplay from Bonyth. He's got a Dragoon coming out, so he's going to kill that Overlord also, and that may already just really hurt Jaeyun, because he's starting to build Hydras, and if he gets supply block, well, all of a sudden, that 12 Hydra push that he wants to snipe the gate and Forge, that's not going to come through.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest counters. It's like, well, you need to build a bunch of stuff, but you can't build a bunch of stuff. Sorry. Now, you just referenced Zero, perhaps one of the greatest Zerg players of all time, and his analysis would be that Stargate's maybe not so great against this build, but I would counter that with the analysis of Twitch chat, which says that maybe Stargate's okay against this. Now, I'm not sure who I'm going to believe here, but I'm going to assume that if Zero says something and Bonyth is not doing that something, I'm just saying, you might not want to pick this hill to die on, Chatterinos. Let's see how this works out for Bonyth.
He's got speed halfway done, +1 is already past halfway done. He doesn't have the 12 Hydras just yet. He's gonna, does he have range? I didn't get to see if he had range. Okay, actually Jaeyun's building a lot of Hydras. This is at 1500. Here he comes, he pops the first cannon. This is before speed. There's a lot of links to buffer the damage.
Ooh, this is really good. If you can kill that much off of just your speedless Zealots, wait until these things kick into overdrive. I mean, I also love like the 1 Dragoon in here just to get that last little bit of damage in. And let the Zealots focus on doing what Zealots do best, and that is lawnmower these Hydras.
Yes, the speed kicks in, and he just pushes Jaeyun back like it was nothing. I was so worried that all the Zealots were going to die when they didn't have speed, and now he's got more Zealots and Dragoons than... Oh, actually, he doesn't. But he's going to have more Zealots than Jaeyun has Hydras pretty soon, because he's got 4 gate already.
Yeah. And I mean, the Zealots are pretty damaged, so he did kind of sacrifice a lot of HP. But spoiler alert, he's got 4 Zealots at a time pile driving across this map. And, man, these Hydras are, I mean, they're going to do their best to stutter step, but you don't stutter step against Bonyth. You just respect it and head back home. So the Zealots are going to die eventually, but they are getting quite a bit of Hydra kills, and that's exactly what this is supposed to do. So pretty much mission accomplished.
Yeah, he did cut down on the Hydra count, but he does have very few Zealots left over. I guess it's 7, 3 cannons. Jaeyun, meanwhile, has taken a 4th hatch, not a 4th base, but he's setting up to take a 4th base pretty soon. But again, just like in the series versus Crossy, I'm just worried that our econ is too poor. It's still 20 drones. Jaeyun, no lair anywhere. We're kind of all in with this. He's got to get something done.
Yeah, and I mean, building the hatchery means he's just going to want to flood more and more and more. But man, these Zealots coming out 4 at a time off of a great economy. 42 probes behind this, and he's not stopping building them. So he is just a big believer in the Zealot power, and I think that's a pretty strong power to believe in.
Well, the Hydras are doing a good job. I love the splitting up of the Hydras. Sure, he's losing a couple Hydras here and there, but he's minimizing the losses as best he can. Well, as I say that, the Zealots kill way more than I thought. Still no big. Still no big gateway flood from Bonyth just yet. Okay, he did just start building Storm, and he got a few Templars. He is actually going to transition into a mid-game army. Remember, Bonyth hasn't gotten vision into Jaeyun's base at all. He doesn't know that Jaeyun's stuck on 19 drones.
Yeah, that is true. This is kind of do or die. I don't know, these Hydras are trying to calculate pursuit curves. Like, what's the optimal distance to be from these Zealots? I don't know if math is their strong suit. I mean, I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna pretend these are smart Hydras and that they know what they're doing. Ooh, catching the DT coming out.
Yeah, DT got spotted, but there's no sunken at the nat. There's no sunken at the 3rd base. There's an Overlord luckily at the nat, but no Overlord at the 3rd base. What happened to the 3rd base? There's 0 drones there. None.
Yes, I too am surprised about this. There's 2 hatcheries, 6 larvae, 5 larvae, but no drones. I mean, microing Hydras takes a lot of APM and focus, so sometimes you just forget about some stuff.
Well, Hydras are busting the front, but DT got into the main, and that means that these Hydras that Jaeyun has, he has to win with them because his econ is non-existent now.
I don't know if these Hydras are what you win with, Nyoken. I just don't know about that. Whoops. Okay, now I definitely don't know about that. Big Storm takes out half of them.
Yeah, so this is going to be Bonyth probably cleaning it up very soon. He's doubling supply. He's got triple the econ. This is perfect. This is exactly what I was expecting. Bonyth just so good with the Zealots, man.
Yeah, wow. Well, sick. Bonyth, I mean, almost with just Zealots alone. I think he did make a single Dragoon, but anyway, you get the idea. He was killing it. What a monster. So he comes out on top in game number 1, and that means that it's 1 game away from Bonyth kind of speed rocketing his way into the round of 8. I think it wasn't looking too well for seeded players in the round of 16 after Dragon lost, but Eon Zerg dominated. I think Bonyth is pretty much just going to dominate through here. So if there's some MJ's secret stuff that Jaeyun wants to drink before his next game, he better do it now, because Bonyth does not look like he is exhibiting too many flaws today.
Yeah, I just don't know how you stop him. Like, every time he does this gateway expand, I don't think I've ever seen him lose with it. It's just ridiculous how much damage he gets done.
Yeah, I also, like, he was killing Hydras with speedless Zealots. I feel like I just don't see that very much. So he just makes the impossible possible, it seems. His timings, his positionings. Notice, like, we were talking about the forge positioning. It's like, well, where do you put it? Where's the best place to put the forge? Bonyth just knows. It's like, well, if I put it in the front, it's not going to die this game. And I'm like, but you're getting 3 hatch Hydra busted. That's what kills the forge. It's like, no, I just killed them with Zealots. Like, well, yeah, but don't you need speed to kick in? It's like, no, I just killed them before the speed and after the speed too. Okay, Bonyth, wow. All right, you just go right ahead with that, sir. And that's kind of what we saw. So, wow, I don't even know. I mean, Ground Zero is a much different map, so I don't know. Do you think this is going to play better for Jaeyun, Nyoken?
Well, Ground Zero is a good map for Zerg versus Protoss, so I would assume that this is a better map for Jaeyun than Bonyth, but Bonyth is just winning the game on 2 bases. So I don't know. Really, the hard part of Ground Zero is getting a third base. You've got to take the middle of the map if you want gas, or you take a mineral only that's far away and doesn't really help you. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough for Jaeyun.
All right, well, let's get into it. Game number 2 of our winners match is on Ground Zero. And the winner of this series will go on to advance to the round of 8. And we're about to find out who that's going to be. So let's get into it. Ground Zero for game number 2. All right, here we are in the upper right-hand corner. Fuck, God, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Every time it gets harder. I just have a spinner over here, and I just pick a direction and say it. In the upper left-hand corner, in the magenta, is our Polish Protoss player, Bonyth.
And in the bottom left, it is the American Zerg, Jaeyun. I don't know what Jaeyun can really do because Bonyth is going to gateway expand, which means you can't go for the hatch first. We already saw Crossy go for that and he got punished by a 2-gate. But also, Bonyth doesn't have to gateway expand, but Jaeyun's got to respect it, so he's going to go overpool. Oh, there's the 2-gate. 2-gate again, yes!
I love it. I could watch Bonyth 2-gate all day long. Like, 2-gate and 1-base Reaver. Those are the only 2 builds you're allowed to do, Bonyth. This is my decree. As Caesar of StarCraft, I want to watch these builds in my Coliseum for my own personal entertainment. So, yeah, I love it. This is going to be fantastic. This is a lot for Jaeyun to deal with. He had pretty good Hydra micro there for the most part, but, I mean, this is Bonyth we're talking about.
Yeah, and just like in the series versus Crossy, this is going to be a 10-gate. We'll still have to wait and see if it's going to be a 12-gate follow-up. In Jaeyun, he is actually going to go for 11 hatch, 10 pool. I was talking about it earlier. I think 11 hatch, 10 pool. You can stop 2-gate with it, but it's still going to be very hard. We saw Crossy, I guess, stop it, but then overreacted with the Lings. Okay, is that going to be a 2nd gate? Yes. 2nd gate. So identical builds on the same map.
Yeah, I love it. Man, I would really like to see him lose with this build and have to play another build on this map. Because I don't know if, I mean, obviously he's got more than one build per map, but I guess he just fine-tunes it down to the best one. So, can't fault him. If it works, why stop? So, I think the other version is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm trying to be as literate as possible here.
We'll have to see how many Zealots he's going to build. Last time we saw, I think it was 9 versus Crossy before taking the expansion. Is he going to try and continue to 1-base? I don't think he'll do that, but it is a potential that he may try and just go into tech afterwards. First Zealot is moving out. He sees that the Overlord comes from bottom left, and now he knows exactly where Jaeyun is. At least Jaeyun sees the Zealot, so he knows what's coming, and he sees that it's a 2-gate.
Yeah, so at least that information is good. Doesn't save you from the Zealots. They're still coming. So let's see. First Zealot is obviously waiting for the next couple. And once those 3 kind of group up, we're going to head down to this natural, which is only just now being placed.
We do have basically the same reaction as Crossy went for. We're getting gas. We're going to get speed pretty quickly. And we do have 5 Zealots already out on the map. Bonyth's going to send a probe down to take an expansion pretty soon. But here come 3 Zealots. Probe. Still alive, being annoying in the main. If the probe just draws attention of the Lings to the main... Okay, Sunken's almost done. I thought that he was going to have 3 Lings versus 3 Zealots.
It's a somewhat unfair fight there, Jaeyun. Well, also there's a Sunken now, so this should be pretty easy to hold on. But I mean, it's 2x2x2. This is going to be like the reverse Noah's Ark, where the Zealots just come out in 2s instead of going in. But I think there should be enough. It's going to force out a lot of Lings, though, so that's kind of already mission accomplished.
Yeah, a lot of Lings being built, and actually a deviation from Jaeyun. He's not getting speed. He's instead getting lair. Now, Bonyth was in the main the whole time, so he saw that gas was being mined. So he doesn't know if there's speed or lair just yet, but when he sees that speed doesn't kick in pretty soon, he's going to be pretty sure that this is a lair follow-up. And actually, this game he's not expanding. So smartly, he's got the correct opener because now he's going to be able to get a Stargate when he sees that there's no speed.
Man, this is so... oh, God, Bonyth's so good. So yeah, he is actually going to read this correctly. I believe we should see that coming down here pretty soon. But I also wonder what the plan is for all of these Zealots. Is he just going to go for it and say, I've got bit more than you, this is how I win the game? Or is he just going to keep the pressure up to keep forcing out more and more Lings until he either forces speed, which I guess he already has, or pulls back and just defends?
Well, he may just go for it. This is 9 Zealots with a probe that does a substantial amount of damage. Jaeyun, he doesn't have the greatest angle to block because there's not a great SimCity. Here we go, Bonyth going for it.
Yeah, trying to run by a little bit. He wants to get up that ramp. There's still Zerglings flooding down. That Sunken's really worth its weight in goo, I guess. But the Zealots and the probe are going to make it all the way up into the main.
I think that's it, Rapid. There's no Sunken. There's no Lings. There's an overwhelming amount of Zealots. He confirms the Spire. Stargate was already building anyways.
Now, let's not say no Lings, Jae-Yoon. He's got a single-digit number. Also, we are laggerinoing super hardcore here. We are on extra high latency, guys, so we're doing our best.
The drill is as good as it's going to be because the angle is just non-existent. Bonyth doing a good job to make sure he can't get drilled. And now, look at this Spire placement. He can just completely surround it with the Zealots. But it doesn't matter because the Zealots just can kill anything. He doesn't even necessarily have to kill the Spire. He can just kill the drones, kill the Lings. This is it.
Now, this is certainly it. This is super it. That's it. Wow. Damn. Bonyth. You're now only allowed to build 1 gateway per game just to make it fair. Come on. My boy Jaeyun, like, I mean, we go way back. We're like that. But unfortunately, we got to see him go. We will see him coming up in a little bit in the final match of the day, but we're not going to see Bonyth until we get to the round of 8 because that is where he is going. So congratulations, Bonyth advances on in dominant fashion. Wow, that was powerful.
Yeah, and it's not like Jaeyun didn't see it coming. He got a full scout off. It was a first scout, knew exactly what was coming, and Bonyth still just smacked him around like it was nothing. And I like how Bonyth read it correctly. He didn't expand. He just knew that it's going to be there. So brilliant play from Bonyth, and I'm happy to see him make it out because he's probably my favorite Protoss. Like I was saying earlier, this is somebody that you can imitate. So it's really nice to see him make it out.
Yeah. Now, Bonyth is like the first time you read the sound and the fury. It's just like, oh, I can't. It's just the greatness. It's right there. So we will be seeing him further on in the round of 8. But for now, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we have the losers match to decide who is the first player eliminated from BSL Season 7 Group 3. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.